I literally have a good friend that, no joke, this guy that she's been seeing showed up so well in the beginning. And she, obviously is my friend, and she's like worried about the 4 to 6 month mark. Like, there's been really teeny tiny signs that he's a DA, but like he's rebounded really great. But I'm like concerned about the 4 month mark, like to the day on the 4 month mark. He was like, I'm not ready. I can't do this. And, backed away. And I expect the breadcrumbs to come after that. Like, just trying to probably keep her on the hook with just enough attention and affection to create a situationship ish or a textationship ish type of situation, but not enough to actually in any way meet her needs. This is what DAs do. They show up so strong in the beginning. Again, if you follow my channel, you know exactly why. Because their wounds around being trapped, stuck, overcommitted, meeting someone's expectations are not yet there in the honeymoon stage. It is with longevity, with commitment, with conflict, and anything that creates vulnerability and closeness. That's what they deactivate from, okay? That's what causes them to be triggered and to pull away. And they don't always want to completely let you go, though, right? They don't want to completely let you go. They want to keep you at a level of intimacy that feels good to them, but that doesn't necessarily feel good to you. But what that does to those with anxious attachment wounds is it provides just the exact right intermittent reinforcement that they're often used to and feels like home from their childhoods. So they cling on to this, they get toxic hope, and then they really suffer the anxiety and the addiction that breadcrumbing brings because of the principle of intermittent reinforcement on the brain. So it is a bad situation because most of the time when the bait and switch happens, it is after attachment has already taken place and someone is really attached to that version of the DA that showed up really well in the honeymoon phase. And detaching is, of course, extremely painful. And it takes a very secure person to be able to detach from someone who showed up really strong, vulnerable, affectionate, and loving in the beginning. That's why achieving attachment security is critical. It is critical because you have to be able to be resilient when this happens. You will meet DAs. Like, so many people, especially if you're over 35 and you're dating folks that have been divorced, so many men are DAs. So many. Like 85% of DAs are men. Now, there are DA women for sure, but the overwhelming majority of them are men. And so if you're a woman in the dating market right now, especially if you're over 35, diving head first into attachment security and creating the resilience that you need to have strong boundaries and to potentially walk away from someone who does a bait and switch around the 4 to 6 month mark and starts breadcrumbing, it's like what you have to have. You have to build your capacity to walk away, or otherwise you end up in this extremely drawn out situationship where the DA doesn't care about wasting your time. They don't care about wasting your time at all because they're getting exactly what they need. They're getting the attention, the affection, and the validation that they need without having to give anything back of any meaningful substance. And so I get it. That toxic hope is what keeps you in the game, but achieving attachment security is what makes you resilient towards toxic hope and makes you be able to not lean into the toxic hope and believe it and give into it and to avoid detaching because of the fear of the emotional pain that detachment brings. So I definitely suggest joining my group. I have my 2 April groups up and there are very